everyone. I want to know if any other parents have experienced issues with CPS and their children being accepted into local or out of district schools. I know that my peers and other students who live close to us have been accepted to schools that are out of district. My son has been interviewed, he's been counseled, he's had letters of recommendation, and he still has been rejected from many schools which are predominantly white in the CPS district. Why is that? I'm not really sure if it's an intimidation factor because my son is very intelligent and he may be overly qualified for schools such as CHCA, Kilgore, or the Hyde Park School. Or we're giving letters, for example, that he's on the waiting list. Oh, but never mind, we'll send you an email and say that unfortunately your child is not in the district. So what is it? Is it because his name is Zephaniah and it's not Robert or Bob or Mary? CPS is supposed to help children have the opportunity to have the best education so that they can have the experiences and the foundation to then go on to what? A great high school such as Walnut Hills, and then to go to college or to take upon a trade. But at such an early age as 5, to be rejected and told that you don't qualify to go to their school, in a CPS school, or even a private school where you are qualified, what more does a black parent have to do? And that's why it is important for us to understand that some situations are not just coincidences, they are systemic racism. I don't live in a zip code that's in a low income neighborhood, but the school in my neighborhood is failing. I just find it very interesting how hard we have to climb to get to the top. But to start it at the age of 5, I'll give you all an example. We have went through an arduous process for my oldest son, who is 5 now, to go through an admission process for a private school. We're told that he was, he answered all the questions correctly, he did everything correctly. There was nothing we had to do on our end. Interview process went well. Then all of a sudden, a week later, oh, we're so sorry to inform you that your child is not going to be accepted into our program. And this was really before the pandemic became such an issue. So interestingly enough, when you tour these schools, and this school has 2 campuses, one in a very high income area and one in a lower income area or it's close to downtown. Interestingly enough, even the school that is further out in the higher income area probably had about less than 10% of diversity, meaning I saw maybe one Asian child, less than 20 black children out of the entire program. And some may say, well, you didn't get the opportunity to see the whole school. It's evident when you walk through the halls. Then you go to a different location in the lower income neighborhood, same school, just a different location. And that school's predominantly black, but he's still not accepted to that school. Just find it very interesting that it took for us to be accepted by a Catholic school, CPS. Where are we in supporting our black young men? At such an early age, they are experiencing rejection. I wouldn't really talk about this as much as it being rejection if it wasn't for the example that he had to go through such an arduous process of going through tours and talking to principals and still being rejected. And some may say, well, it's not your neighborhood school. Our neighborhood school is failing. So many Cincinnati public schools are failing. So what is it that we have to do as black parents? Some of you say, well, you parents aren't doing enough for your children, and the teachers are doing everything. That's not every black parent. It's not every white parent either. There's parents like myself who tutor their children at home or homeschooling before the pandemic happened. We are very involved, my husband and my son's grandparents. I just find it very concerning at the age of 5, rejection at such an early age. And he does know that he's not going to that school because he says, Mommy, am I going to that school where I had to take all those tests and be around all those kids? And interestingly enough, when he did take his tests at that school, somehow they left Zephaniah or forgot about him. And he was crying. And I just found that to be very odd. They didn't forget any of the other kids. So I have to stop making excuses and saying that, oh, it's just a coincidence, or maybe it's just an accident. Is it really? I pray that my son will have a great educational experience. I attended Eastwood Paideia growing up. My siblings did as well. And that school closed. That school is a predominantly black school with a black principal, 2 black principals. And slowly it lost funding. Look at the children who were going to Schroeder Paideia. That school was also doing very well in Kennedy Heights. It lost funding. They moved it to Madisonville. How is that school performing? Predominantly black. Is it truly that our black students are not educated, or they don't want to learn, or that it's systemic and generational issues? Not really sure if that's really the true answer. I'm hoping that this video reaches someone on CPS to understand that there are systemic issues going on in our educational school system. My son should not have to go through a rigorous college preparatory experience at the age of 5 just to be accepted into a school with great education, with great funding, with great programs, with great teachers, and then have to spend almost as much as you would on rent or more for a great education. How are we helping our young black men and women to become successful? This is from a concerned parent that things have to change. And I'm so sorry my son has to experience this at 5. What will it be when he becomes a teenager and then when he goes on to college? You all have a great day.